What is going on, everybody? How are we doing? How are we feeling? We had some news today, and I'm going to talk to you about it because I wasn't able to talk to you about it earlier. But here we are. How's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling? What's good? It's Thursday. Today, NFL honors dropping in about an hour and a half, I think, by 6 o'clock. So get ready for that. Hope everybody's doing good. We got good news today. It's been a great offseason. And as you know, this morning, George Kittle was on the Up and Adams show out there in Radio Row. And he told Kay Adams, hey, we're working on a contract extension. He says, I asked my agent, John Lynch, and them are taking care of business. So, George Kittle has said many times during the offseason, after the season ended, that he wants to be a Niner for life. So that's definitely a big part of the 49ers offseason is making sure they pay my boy, George Kittle. But before, check it out. Goat Fuel. Yeah, my boy can't see the Goat Fuel. Now, check it out. We're now an affiliate partner with Goat Fuel, Jerry Rice. We're working on bigger things. Maybe we could be a official partner with them next year. But let's check it out. I haven't drank this yet. My boy Ken tells me it's really good. It's like berry flavor. So I actually have the Goat Fuel. I haven't drank it yet. We promoted the product. We posted it on the page. But I'm going to try it out first time. So I'm either going to be repulsed or not. We'll see how it goes. I've heard it's good. I've never drank this. I swear to God, I've never drank this. So this is honest reaction. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's actually really good. It's like really sweet. It's like it's like a Kool-Aid. It's like I'm drinking Kool-Aid and I got the fuel of the goat pumping through my body. I like this. This is good. Goat fuel, baby. That's actually really good. That's a really good energy drink. Shout out to the goat. I don't know what's in it, but I feel like the goat. Line me up. I'm going to go do some routes now. The way I drink goat fuel is so tough. I know. Thank you. But any case, let's get back to business. My man, George Kittle, again, he told Kay Adams that, hey, I'm trying to get back to the Niners. We're working on a contract extension. I think that excites everybody. Get him back for a few more years. He's already the best tight end in the NFL. Keep him with the Niners. This guy needs to be a Niner for life. Now, let me tell you, the one cool thing about George Kittle is, he keeps it 100. He says what he has to say. He's been, through so many quarterbacks. He's, talked about Brock Purdy. He was on Chris Sims. He was talking to Chris Sims this morning also. And he says, look, Brock was a great leader. And he says, the window, they talked to him about the Super Bowl window. He goes, it's not really shut. You can open the window any time of the year, any time you can open the window. So this team, I think they're really focused this offseason. They want to get back. It was a tough year for them. But I think George and everybody else really is excited to get back to business and, take care of the haters and really get back to what made them, where they were over the last couple of years. A lot of people were down on the Niners this offseason, but so far this offseason has been great. Obviously, they got to sign, Brock Purdy's extension. You got to get George Kittle's extension. There's a lot of things that have to happen, but so far you got Robert Saleh. You fired the bad coordinators. You got some good ones. It's a lot of optimism. And both George Kittle and Fred Warner have said they got to get Myles Garrett. Both of them have been recruiting Myles Garrett. I love it. I love it. Like, I don't know if we're going to get Myles Garrett, but both George and Fred, they're trying to get him, man. We're trying to get him. So I'm definitely feeling optimistic myself, Eric, as well. This team, they just have a good vibe going into this offseason. It sucks that they lost, but I think they're going to use this motivation because, they're here at Super Bowl Row. They're watching, all these other players on the Chiefs and the Eagles have to talk about the Super Bowl, and they don't. I think they're going to be very hungry next year, and they're motivated, And Fred Warner kind of said that too. He says, it sucks. It humbles you real quick, and then you learn from it. And both of these guys are the leaders of this team. George Kittle on the offense, Fred Warner on the defense. Like, these are your two leaders, and they're both super hungry, and they know it wasn't the best season. It sucked, but they're going to do what they got to do to get this team back to where they need to be. So very optimistic for the next couple of years, especially this coming year. So I don't know. I'm very hyped. I heard George Kittle say that today, and I was like, let's go. And one thing, George Kittle talked about this too, is he was on Up and Adams show, and you guys saw the post. He basically told the media that he played through cracked ribs, right, going into the Patriots game, and then he fractured his ribs. He fractured his ribs against the Patriots when he went up for that touchdown catch where he caught it on 3 defenders. Unbelievable. And that's crazy. He had 1,000 yards receiving, and he played through a fractured ribs. And now in the same game, Fred Warner fractured his ankle. Crazy. And they both played through the injury. So it wasn't just those two guys, but a lot of players were injured all season long. So it just shows you the type of year this team had to weather through. It wasn't the best year. And I'm not going to sit here and say injuries were the only reason the Niners didn't get to the playoffs, but that's a big reason. And when you have George Kittle going out there playing his ass off, you got Fred Warner going out there playing his ass off, and they both had major injuries. It tells you the testament of these two guys. So Fred Warner, George Kittle definitely need to be locked and loaded with this team forever, man. These two guys are amazing. And it's just incredible to see the season that George Kittle had, and he played with fractured ribs. It's crazy, man. He didn't complain. He didn't cry about it. So love that for him, that he was able to get through the season and have a fantastic year. Now, there was a guy named Devondre Campbell who literally quit on the team because he wasn't going to be a starter anymore because Dre Greenlaw came back to get his spot. So it's funny, man. It's funny that George Kittle and Fred Warner were guys that just played through whatever they had to. You had Mooney Ward who, had adversity, and Trent Williams had adversity. All these guys played through something. And then you had this guy, Devondre Campbell, who quit on the team like a little sore loser. So is what it is. But shout out to Fred. Shout out to George Kittle. Those two guys are amazing. And I'm glad that the Niners are trying to, lock them up. Now, Fred Warner did say, we maybe we give some of our money up, volunteer some of our money. He's talking about him and Kittle for Myles Garrett. And Fred and George Kittle's like, hey, you ain't speaking for me, buddy. Not for me. So, it was funny, man. It's funny that this team, he's still laughing about it. They're still laughing about it. It's a tough year, but you got to find things to kind of ease the pain, I guess. It wasn't the best, but it is what it is. But if the 49ers are able to get Myles Garrett, I think it would definitely put him over the top. It would make this defense Super Bowl caliber for sure. And I think a lot of people would have the 49ers favored to win the Super Bowl if they can get Myles Garrett. Nick Bosa, Myles Garrett, Fred Warner, touch up the offense a little bit, fix that O-line. You're definitely going to be one of the top teams in the NFC. So we'll see. Niners, the Bay says Pearsall nearly lost his life. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's so much that happened last year. You had a player almost lose his life. You had players that lost their children. It was a freaking crazy season. So, I agree. John Lynch needs to make that duo happen. Let's talk about Scatabo, System M. Kesey. I mean, yeah, definitely a guy that the 49ers could have on their draft list. We'll see how it goes. There's going to be a lot of projections. Next couple of weeks will be the NFL Combine. At the end of the month, we'll have the NFL Combine, and we'll get a lot of more answers as to, who are the 49ers looking at? Who are they meeting with? Right now, there haven't been too many meetings yet with the players, but in about a month or so, we're going to hear a lot more actual meetings with the players and, the 49er prospects and the front office. So it'll be nice. I think Cam Scatterbu will at least meet with the 49ers, So CMC coming back 100%. Yeah, that's what he told his dad yesterday, or that's what his dad said yesterday. So we'll see. I'm excited about CMC being fully healthy. We need that guy back. But regardless if he's healthy 100% or, any case for Christian McCaffrey, you need to make sure there's depth. You need to make sure you have guys behind him. The way this 49er team runs and operates, they need to have as many running backs as they can on the roster. My man C-Max is what got you started in running your page. Huge fan, huge Niner fan. So, just started doing it a couple years back. A while back. And, we love the grind. It started taking off. And now I think I'm Shams out there. I wish I was Shams, actually. It's my guy. Shout out to Shams, man. He dominated NBA trade deadline. And he was the head. He's the head. The main ESPN reporter for basketball. Took over for Woj. Woj passed the torch. And Shams, man, that guy is a go. I love him. I'm partial to him. He's Indian. I'm Indian. You got to respect the Brown. And that's my guy, man. I saw him just posting every second. He dominated the timeline, and that's how I want it. That's how I am with the NFL, with the 49er news. I try to just dominate your timeline. That's what I love to do. One-stop shop for Niner news. Shout out to Shams. What's up, Daniel Berry Sports? Ian Sharp says Kyle always restocks running backs. Absolutely, he always does. What's up with Debo? Debo loves him some AJ Brown. He loves y'all was hating. Y'all was hating on Debo yesterday. What do you think? Right now, as it stands, John Lynch said, early a couple weeks ago, he says Debo's sticking with the team, but you never know. Post June, they might cut him because his cap hit's not going to be as much. They restructured last year. I think Debo is definitely going to be in trade talks this offseason. If he's not, I'll be very, very shocked. I know they say they're keeping Debo Samuel, but I will definitely be surprised if he doesn't even at least have rumors to be traded. But I mean, I've been a big Debo guy my whole fandom since he's been here. But look at the Rams. They know when it's time to move on with the player. Cooper Kupp's a fantastic wide receiver, a very good player. He's been one of their better players over the years. Superstar. He had the 2021 magic season, just like Debo. He's getting older, and it's time for him to go. They can get some value out of him. So I think the Niners probably should get rid of him and get some value. It's not because I don't like him or whatever, but he's getting older. He's slowing down, and I think the Niners would be wise to take a page out of the Rams and trade a star when he still has some value. There's going to be teams that would still love to have Debo. That's my guy, but I think it probably would be smart because they've been fielding calls on Debo. They got to get some younger guys. Again, I've said Garrett Wilson is a guy that I would absolutely love to bring to the 49ers. So we'll see how it goes. Could the Niners get Kupp? I hope they don't. Not that I don't like him, but he's, again, past his. The reason the Rams want to get rid of him is to dump him on a team that, is going to take his money and, take up an older guy. He's a very good player. He's a good veteran, but he's got injury risk. He's, older than Debo. It would probably be a bad move if you take Cooper Kupp. I think a team that needs a veteran or just a wide receiver presence in general might get him. Like a bad team like the Patriots that have a lot of money to spend, or a great team like the Chiefs that just need another veteran and another guy to feed for Patrick Mahomes. Those are the teams that I could see maybe getting Cooper. Cooper Kupp go a lot of places. So Garrett Wilson rumors. I mean, there's no real rumors, but it's something that I'm just throwing out there. I'm just throwing it out there. Don't be surprised if we see some Garrett Wilson rumors. I'm just being hopeful for sure, but I would not be surprised if we see some Garrett Wilson rumors coming up because, again, they got Robert Saleh, right? Robert Saleh, Garrett Wilson. Hello. There's going to be some rumors there. That's my take on it. We'll see. Moody. I think that Jake Moody will still be on the roster this year when they get into OTAs. I know that's not the answer people want to hear, but they're going to look at kickers. They're going to look at veterans. They're going to have a kicker competition, and I think that's how the offseason is going to be. Before we've had quarterback competitions, we had Trey Lance, we had Jimmy Garoppolo, we had Brock Purdy. We had all the QB competitions that we could think about over the last few years, right? Now we're going to have a kicker cup. This is going to be the competition of the summer. It's going to be Jake Moody and whoever they bring in. And that's going to be the fucking competition of the summer. That's the way I see it. That's the way I think is going to happen. That's my prediction. I hope I'm wrong because that means if I'm right, that means Jake Moody's on the roster, right? So we'll see, man. I don't know. I think that it's going to be Jake Moody versus, I don't know, Penta, CM Punk, whoever they get to be the kicker. You know what I mean? His replacements were better this year. Hypothetically speaking, would you rather have Garrett Wilson or T. Higgins? Says, actually, I've answered this question a couple times. It's a good question. I'd take Garrett Wilson. Not that I'm saying that he's better or whatever. They're both very good players. Garrett Wilson's right now, he's cheaper. He's younger. He's still on his rookie contract, so you get a little bit more leeway. T. Higgins, great player, a little older, and he's got some injury risk, and he's asking for $30 million. You know what I mean? That's a lot of money. We paid a lot of money to wide receivers over the years. I love Garrett Wilson. He's younger, cheaper, probably has a higher ceiling at this point. And, you do got to give up some draft picks because he's a good player. You do have to give up draft picks for a guy like Garrett Wilson. When is the NFL Honors? The NFL Honors is about an hour away, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you guys think are going to win who's MVP? Who's going to win Rookie of the Year? JD5 is going to win Rookie of the Year. He already won the Pepsi Rookie of the Year. They should have like an LVP, like the least valuable player award, like worst player. Jake Moody would for sure get LVP. Can you imagine LVP? Jake Moody, LVP. But no, in all seriousness, who's going to win Offensive Player of the Year? Who's going to win MVP? Who's going to play? Who's going to win Defensive Player of the Year? I think Rookie of the Year obviously is going to be offensively JD5. MVP, I think it's going to be Lamar. I think he'll edge out Josh Allen. Offensive Player of the Year, I think it's going to be Saquon. Defensive Player of the Year, it's going to be for future Niner, Myles Garrett. Future Niner, Myles Garrett's going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Who else? What else? Who's Defensive Rookie of the Year? That's a tough one. That could go either way. There's some really good defensive players. Maybe. I don't know who's going to be Defensive Rookie of the Year. What do you guys think? Barkley, Offensive MVP. Saquon, Offensive Player of the Year. Jaden Daniels should be the 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year. Yeah, Barkley. We need an O-lineman. I agree. Josh Allen, MVP. It's going to be close. It's going to be very, very close. Jared Verse from the Rams. He might get Defensive Rookie of the Year. I could see that. Jared Verse was incredible this year. Very good player. Maybe homeboy from the Eagles. What's the Cooper DeJean? Maybe he gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. How's the goat field? The goat field is actually really good. It's really good. This gold can goat field. It's like berry flavored. It's really good. Got me hyped up too, actually. I'm running. I want to go run some routes. Denzel Ward from the Browns says he's out if Garrett is. Yeah, I know. I saw that. He's all the Browns players are going to crash out if Myles Garrett leaves. Like, they're trying to keep him. David Njoku's like pitching him stay with the Browns. I mean, that's their guy. That's their best player. It's like if the 49ers were to just say, if the 49ers were to lose like Fred Warner or Nick Bosa, one of your best players on defense, right? We're great. We have two. You imagine if you lose one of those players, the team would be so like done. They'd be pissed, man. So I don't blame the Browns for being upset for, maybe potentially losing Myles Garrett. It's a tough situation. Do I think T. Higgins ends up on the Rams? Oh, man. I haven't even thought about where he's going to go, but I could see it. I would hate that, man. Puka and T. Higgins, good night, Sally. I think the Patriots are a big-time team this year to look out in free agency. They're going to go and just try to scour up players. Last year, the Washington Commanders, they scoured up a lot of players in free agency. I think that's what the Patriots need to do. You need to go put weapons out there for your quarterback, Drake May. I think that the Patriots are going to be a sleeper team in the offseason. Just watch out for them. I think they're going to try to make some moves. So we'll see. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Dominic Pooney, for giving up 0 sacks. I think he ended up giving up a sack or two at the end of the season, but Dominic Pooney was a fantastic rookie. Do I think Purdy deserves $60 million? I think $60 million is a lot of money. I think it's a little bit too rich, but I think he deserves a good contract. I think he deserves, quarterback one money. I think he is the 49ers, quarterback one moving forward, obviously. And you pay him, but I don't know if you should pay him $60 million. I think 50 to 55 is very fair. 60 mil is a lot of money. So Cooper Kupp and T. Higgins to the Chargers. Woo, Chris Teal says. Justin Herbert could have a field day. If they get one of those guys, that's for sure going to help them out. I do think that the Chargers are a team that are going to try to make some noise in the wide receiver department. That's a good point, too. We mentioned them the other day. That's for sure. What's up, Big Mike? Hope Matt Stafford doesn't go to the Raiders. I saw rumors today. I didn't see that today. You never know. There's going to be a lot of rumors over the next couple of weeks. So we'll see. Cooper, how much is Brock getting? Well, I don't know. There's rumors all over that, right? There's 60. People are saying 40s. People are saying 50. I don't know. I think Brock is going to get anywhere between 50 to 55. Greenlaw contract talks. There's no official talks, but the reports over the last weekend was Robert Salah, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. They're all hyped up. They all want him. They all want to try to get him back. I think the team is really hell-bent on making sure Dre Greenlaw returns to the 49ers. But you also got to look at, there's going to be a lot of other teams that want to make him their top linebacker. Like the Washington Commanders could make him a very highly paid linebacker. So it's going to really take some convincing. Hopefully, Fred Warner can do a good sales pitch to keep him here, because I think Dre Greenlaw would feel some big contracts on other teams. But the only thing that sucks for Dre, really, in terms of getting a contract on any other team, really, is the injury. You know, he had one game, and he showed how damn good he could be in that one game this year. But he did re-aggravate himself. And he couldn't finish the season. He didn't really play too much this season. When he did play, it was amazing. But that injury is very risky for other teams. So that could prevent other teams from gambling on Dre Greenlaw, and it could help the 49ers keep him. But at the same time, if the 49ers keep him, that gamble is real, even for the 49ers. So they do have to make sure they get some depth at linebacker, for sure. So do I know anything about Jordan James? Yeah, I saw him play a lot at Oregon. I watched a lot of college football. Definitely could be perfect in the 49ers offense. I mean, 49ers could use a lot of running backs in this. We can go through so many running backs, and they'd be beneficial. I do think that Kyle will get a really good running back in this year's draft, even undrafted, because the 49ers they always find somebody. So 49ers could draft Mike Green, defensive end from Marshall, in the second round. Heard he's a stud, says California man. I don't think he's going to be available in the second round. I don't know if you guys have seen, his stock is rising to the top. It's bubbling to the top. Now, I think that Mike Green, if he has a crazy combine, because the combine, right, is towards the end of this month. If Mike Green goes and just hams it up in the combine, he's first round. He's top 10 pick. Top 10 pick. Top 15 for sure. Top 10 pick. I think he's going to raise that stock up. And he was great, man. So I do like Mike Green. I think he'd be a fantastic player, but I don't think we're getting him. There's no way he slides the second round, especially if he has a unbelievable NFL combine in a few weeks. So no running backs in the third. Yeah, that probably would be a smart idea. No kickers in this draft too, right? Chris says they said Myles Garrett and maybe free agent Khalil Mack to the 49ers. How would that defense look? Holy moly. I don't know if they could get both. I think Khalil Mack, good player. I don't know if I want him to be the only edge rusher they get. Good player. He's definitely getting up there in age, so you can't really rely on him being what he was before. But if they could get Myles Garrett and Khalil Mack and he could be a depth piece, oh boy, I'd be hyped up. But if you only get Khalil Mack, then it's not as good as it, could have been 5 years ago. Khalil Mack, holy moly, you know what I mean? But we'll see. There's going to be a lot of rumors. Like I said, this is rumor season, smoke season. You're going to hear every rumor out there. So my boy says, Brett says, I'm going to miss Mooney. Yeah, me too. I know he's definitely not coming back. I mean, obviously, writing's on the wall. But, wherever he goes, hope he does well. We talked about Mooney the other day. Very good player, very good person. He's very great with the fans. He's, off the field, man. I've talked to him many times. And just a hell of a dude. And I'm going to wish him nothing but the best wherever he ends up. And, I hope he tears it up and gets back to his Pro Bowl, all-pro form, which he was a couple years back. And, this year wasn't his year. He had a lot of adversity he had to go through. And the fact that he even tried and he was in meetings and he played, it's unbelievable, man. It speaks about the guy's character. So shout out to Mooney Ward. Wish him nothing but the best, but pretty sure he won't be back next year. Mooney is gone with the win. Yeah. My man Gabriel says, good day, good day, good day. Good day to Ollie. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing good. We paying Purdy this year or next? We're paying him this year, most likely. If they don't, I'd be shocked. Thoughts on the QB2 potential? Is this a good question? I think that QB2, there's been some rumors about Joe Flacco. I actually like that idea. A veteran, he's a guy that could come in. He's the ultimate game manager. If Brock has to miss a few games, you throw in Joe Flacco, he probably could win a few games, here and there. So, and, he knows how to throw the pill, man. He's still got a deep arm. He's still got a good deep pass. So definitely Flacco, man. Would love to have him. And another guy that I've seen I wouldn't hate would be Andy Dalton, Red Rocket. And those two would be probably my top two choices. Now, I will say this. Kirk Cousins is most likely going to be cut from the Falcons. I wouldn't be surprised if Kyle Shanahan goes after him and makes him QB2. We'll see. But I think my favorite QB2 prospect right now would probably be Joe Flacco. I know a lot of people are going to say no, but actually, Joe Flacco would be a solid backup quarterback. Your backup quarterback doesn't need to be great, doesn't need to be flashy, but they need to be able to come in and win games. And Joe Flacco, he's proven throughout his career, he could come in and win games and manage the game. That's all you need. So he's probably better than Josh Dobbs. He's better than, Brandon Allen for sure. You'd upgrade that position. And then I think you keep Tanner Mordecai and you make him your QB3. So we'll see. But I'm going to get ready to watch these NFL honors here in a little bit. But again, recapping, good news, George Kittle, he's talking about he's talking about getting a contract extension. We all heard that news earlier today. Fantastic news. And, be good to hear when George Kittle finally gets his contract. The man deserves all the monies in the world, all the pennies in the world. Am I watching the Super Bowl this Sunday? Yeah, of course. People are going to say, I'm not watching the Super Bowl. Stop lying to yourself. You're going to watch Super Bowl. As much as we hate the Chiefs, as much as we hate the Eagles, we're all going to be watching the Super Bowl. We are. Okay. Daniel Liu hat. I'm going to have some collabs coming up soon. I just haven't had time to reach out and message. Goat Fuel. Go get your Goat Fuel. This shit is good. Y'all have a blessed rest of your day. Shout out to everybody out there. Hope everybody does great things in the off season. And we'll see. NFL honors. Let's go. Go Niners.